Welcome to Healthy Meal Preppers. It's Thursday night again. Today we're talking about a big topic. I think we'll call this part one. On stress. All the things. Why we're stressed, emotional stress, physical stress. And we'll talk a little bit about how to prevent stress, but also, of course, stress relieving techniques. So,
hello, we are your hosts, Melissa,
Amita,
and Beth.
Entrepreneurs, busy moms, and women keeping it real, especially when it comes to meals, mindset, and movement. We will show you that taking charge of your health is accessible, attainable, and easier than you think. Follow along as we offer tips, tricks toward healthy and happy living without overwhelm or shame. Welcome to Healthy Meal Preppers. Mental. I mean, did you say mental, physical? What was the other?
emotional, physical,
Emotional,
and
physical.
all of the above.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is. All of the above.
I noticed one mechanism I have for when I get super stressed is I like freeze on all the things that I needed to do. I find it hard to sit down and knock them out when I feel super when I'm overly stressed. I can't devote. I just can't. I don't know why. I feel like I'm maybe an ostrich, put my head in the sand.
Okay, but that's normal. Oh, I'm with the doctor in the room. Yay! That is called fight or flight. And that's it. That's when, I guess we'll call it, emotional stress turns into physical stress. And it's normal. So the sympathetic nervous system, I'm going to try not to go too far down this rabbit hole, but it is really important to know. This is a normal thing. Some people go into like crazy active, hyperactive mode. That's me. And can't sleep and can't stop until they're done all the things. And some people freeze and can't function. And like, those are the ones that, like panic before the test and then they're like, I can't remember anything. And it's actually meant to be that way. It's kind of like, when we play dead, if the lion is there, you play dead, or you run like hell. Those are the options. And so your brain actually doesn't know the difference. So every time you have a stress response, you will do fight or flight. And you would think, in some way, sometimes I'm like, didn't we evolve already? Like, there's no saber-toothed tiger. I mean, I don't think there's a lion at my door. Like, do I really need the fight or flight? But you do. It is crucial to have in your brain, that's called the primitive brain, but we also have a prefrontal cortex. And so that's why you said, I don't know why. Because your prefrontal cortex is like, dude, get up. What's wrong with you? But your primitive brain is like, I'm frozen.
Yeah.
And until I break the cycle, I can't be unfrozen.
It's funny, people talk about eating too, when I stress eat, and it's so funny because I'm the opposite. So when I'm stressed, I don't eat. Like, I can't eat. And then other people say when I'm stressed, I eat like crazy, and I don't make good choices. Mine is, I just can't. I can't. I have no appetite. I stress, not eat.
You're not alone. I eat when I'm stressed.
Do you stress eat?
I do, yeah.
What's your go-to stress eat food?
Ooh, anything that's sweet.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I can eat bags and bags of chips.
Mine is, something salty. Like I could do a whole bag of popcorn.
Oh, yeah.
Or I'll do, my favorite is sweet cereal.
Oh, yeah.
But I do put lots of berries and strawberries in it to make up for all the other sugar.
I like that.
I mean, if I
Fill it with some fiber.
No, I mean, I stress wine for sure.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Right, so...
I can stress wine. I wouldn't eat a thing all day, but I'll drink a glass of wine. When I'm super
a glass
stressed.
of wine is probably fine. And it actually does bind to the receptors in your brain.
You know what? When you said that, I think what happens to me is all day I'm on this stress that I don't eat all day just because, and then when I get home, that's when it,
Well, you're on like adrenaline.
I think so. I mean, is that?
I think that's very normal.
Yeah.
I mean, tell me, I think that's very, very normal. You just push through, and then you like crash.
And you crash.
Right? We all know that.
Yeah. But I think because my day is so nonstop
Uh-huh.
that I'm just
Right.
overdrive going.
But it's not necessarily stressful, but physically demanding and mentally demanding.
I feel like it's stress too.
It is stress. Okay.
Because there's just so much to do, and I feel like I'm just barely keeping my head above water at times, and I'm just going, and I don't think I'm even realizing what's going on around me.
We talked about this last week, I think. Because when I'm stressed with work, I mean, like stress about day job work, I absolutely positively cannot carve out time to work out. I mean, I feel that makes me more stressed. Okay. And I think you said, I'm like, okay, there's no possible way I'm going to carve out an hour of my day to go to the gym. It feels like I don't even know how it's possible. And then, but you were saying that somehow carving out that hour actually helps you clear your mind a little bit, which I really like the idea of that. Spending that hour walking or, doing something.
Well, it's kind of ironic you say that because exercise is such a great way to relieve stress. So if you're feeling stressed that you don't have time,
right,
what you need is to get physical and do something, So
and let's be honest, not having time is a common problem.
Oh, it's
or like a
huge.
thought. It's a very
But then,
common
like
thought.
I said, you don't have to carve out a whole hour and say, okay, I don't have an hour. 10 minutes. And it's amazing what that 10 minutes can do. I mean, I think about, we talk about meditation is important. Well, this is meditation in motion.
Agreed.
I mean,
I like that.
yeah.
I like that.
So since I mentioned sympathetic, I better mention parasympathetic because otherwise that's only half the puzzle. So that's exactly what you're talking about. So the goal is to obviously not live in the sympathetic, right? Like to live in the fight or flight is to live in this high stress mode. And we all know when you're in this chronic stress mode, then you're under emotional stress, physical stress. We know what that does to our bodies. We know what that does to our mind. We know we have a mental health crisis, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I have to mention sleep because that's my thing. But and then we can't sleep, and then not sleeping makes everything worse. I know I said two negatives, but not sleeping, I'm gonna say it again, makes everything worse. So parasympathetic means slowing it all down. So going back to the meditation thing. So I love that you said movement with meditation because if you told me to meditate, I've been talking about this for my whole life. I'm Indian. Come on. Meditate? That means clearing my mind, girl. Not happening. Okay, so how do we meditate while moving?
Like I was saying, I think it was last week, talked about how my most creative thinking comes when I'm out doing my morning run. I come up with my best lesson plans, and I just feel like when you're moving, it's relieving the stress, gives your brain a chance to create. I think when we're under stress, we can't think like you were saying. When you're under stress, you're overwhelmed and nothing's a process. But movement can help that. I mean, it's those endorphins. Those endorphins are huge. Huge. And you just feel better. When you feel better, you're less stressed.
Tell me, people say that when you're stressed, it changes the way your body, is it metabolizes or what?
Oh, cortisol levels.
Yeah, so tell me, what is
that?
So,
cortisol increases, the stress hormones, of course, but also increases fat, holding on to fat, and decreases ability to sleep. So that's all all part of it. There's a whole bunch of other things that I have to read from something I don't know off the top of my head. But I know what cortisol does, but you know what I mean. So in this regard, the point is to bring that cortisol level down. I mean, you need cortisol in your life, okay? I'm gonna, say that because it heals, it moves, it makes you do things. It's there for a certain purpose. But living in that chronic, high cortisol level, high stress level is not healthy. I mean, we know this. It causes inflammation, and then you get heart inflammation. All these people that tell you oh my gosh, that CEO, he was so driven, he was thin and healthy, and he had a heart attack.
right,
He was skiing and he had a heart attack.
running on the treadmill.
Running on the treadmill and had a heart attack. Now, of course, sometimes they have a predisposition, some heart condition, etc., okay? But Stress.
Stress.
Like we all know that story. The high-powered executive who has a heart attack due to stress, right? Or blood pressure rises due to stress. So one of my favorite things, and I was just listening to this thing earlier about, of course, meditation, but gratitude actually increases the parasympathetic system. And it doesn't even have to be long, because I'm going to come back to time, because I know that's a big thing. And maybe we'll talk about that next week. But the thought, I don't have time to do that, unless you've actually done a time audit and you can't find 3 to 5 minutes, which I can guarantee you, I'm on my Facebook and Instagram for more than 3 to 5 minutes a day. That's okay. But it's when I don't know I am, so I'm like distracting myself. That's my I over Facebook when I'm stressed. I distract my brain.
Right.
But, yeah. And I just off of what you just said, you can not to add more stress to it, but I'm a very much multitasker, which I know is not that good. But while you're moving, you can be thinking of gratitude,
Oh,
things
absolutely.
that you're grateful, and do it all at the same time. And
When you first start, you can even just start with one thing.
yeah,
And actually, if you can think of the more details you can think about, the better. So today I said, I am grateful for the principal of our high school for taking the time out to talk to parents. Somebody might be like, really? Isn't that your principal's job? Sure. But I'm grateful for it.
yeah,
I'm grateful for her. And when you're grateful for a person, actually the whole environment becomes a thing. Or I'm grateful for being able to sit at the table with my kids this morning and have my cup of tea, which I can't do every morning, right? And then you think about, okay, but I wasn't just grateful for the tea. But you can start with my practice was I'm really grateful for, when I came back from Ireland, for one faucet in the bathroom, because in Ireland there's a hot and a cold. And it's hot or cold, and you have to mix it together in the middle. Okay? And I was like, oh my God, it can be warm. Or AC.
Yeah.
Or,
right.
it can
Don't
start
we have,
simple.
I feel like we have gratitude on the top of our journal. The day,
Yes.
I think we did. I think we added it.
Yeah,
because-
probably. So you can do
When
one
you're-
gratitude.
Right. One, 2 little lines or
Yeah.
something. Start out small.
Well, when the kids were younger, we used to have a little gratitude jar, and at dinner time, we would all add a little something and then share about it.
Yeah.
And your kids get older, and so, but Josh and I still, there's some nights that we're not able to, but I'll go in his room, and it's kind of our prayer time, but we find that that's when we share something that we are grateful for. And y'all, I tell you what, I treasure that time, and it helps you kind of debrief at the end of the day. It's time to go to bed, and helps
It's a
you
good
just
time to do it,
yeah,
too.
it is.
So actually, there's science behind it. So, because I know I used to say it's like magic, but there's actually science behind the gratitude, because it actually creates a positive mindset. Because when you're grateful for something, you can't be mad at something.
Right.
So when you're concentrating and spending more time on the positives, then you increase the positive hormones and neurotransmitters in your brain. So, anyways,
And that helps with
I'm
stress.
a dork. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I love all that. I love that. Yeah.
I'm like, neurotransmitters? It's not magic? I'm a doctor. I should know better, right? It's not magic.
That's awesome.
So I told you what I'm grateful for today. Why don't you guys share what you're grateful for today? Sorry to put you on the spot. And then we'll call it.
Okay, I'm gonna be. This is gonna sound cheesy, but I'm so grateful that I met you two. I'm not kidding. Y'all have inspired me in so many ways, and I'm looking so forward to the summer and having more time with you guys, and just learning so much from y'all. I really am, and I'm so grateful that y'all are so patient with me and putting up with me.
Oh my gosh.
Seriously.
We didn't talk about how Beth kicks our butt every weekend.
Look at the biceps growing on
I
this
know.
girl.
I just.
I wish
I was like,
I
did you
could
feel
screenshot.
my bicep here? I have a bicep. That's so weird. Let's see. Let's grateful today. I would say today I was really grateful for the sun STEM too, but it was like technology. I have simplified my life so much by my brother used to laugh at me all the time because I was always papers and I had to be in my office. And I have really embraced and learned a lot about technology and how to I can take my laptop and anywhere I'm at, I feel prepared. I don't feel like there's anything outside of my laptop that I don't need. Well, laptop and hotspot, right? So I'm pretty grateful, and that's
I admire
saving me a
watching
lot
you
of stress.
with your technology, both of y'all.
I know, but now I have a bullet journal because of Melissa, and I have some
I
papers
heard about
in my
that,
bullet
and
journal.
I need to start.
So good. I really always do have my bullet journal.
Okay, good, because
Okay, I'm gonna learn from you girls.
I need both.
I think with that, let's call it a night.
That's cool.
Good
Thank you,
night.
ladies. Thank you, everyone, for
Good
listening.
night. Good night.